All right, good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Stinnett. Give you a brief update on what's going on with the weather situation across the mid-state. Of course, we'll be checking with our comments on social media, so please chime in if you have any questions. I'll try to do my best to answer those. Again, from the get-go, we knew this event's going to be more of a rain threat for Middle Georgia, and the rain has set in all across Central and Middle Georgia. Moderate to heavy rainfall, not seeing a lot of lightning mixing in. That's certainly some good news. That means we don't have thunderstorms, but overall we are watching things very carefully as we head through the overnight hours. We're going to continue to deal with this rain, and that rain's going to be piling up. The rivers are already in flood. We're going to continue to see that to be an issue. So real quick, looking outside in downtown Macon, we are dealing with heavy rainfall. I can hear it hitting the roof. This is from Mercer University. We're looking off towards the north and east, 63 degrees, got that east-southeast wind as we are looking from our station rooftop. So that is what we're looking at right there. But again, the radar, that's going to be active all night long. We're going to be dealing with very heavy rainfall at times. And as we expand out, we're watching things off towards our south and west. You do see some stronger thunderstorms just to the south of Dothan. Those will be working up towards Albany and over towards Valdosta. Additional storms back into southwest Alabama, but we're encouraged. We're not seeing warnings issued off towards the south and west that would be maybe working their way up towards Middle Georgia. It's a steady soaking rain all across Middle Georgia. And again, we had some tornado watches and warnings earlier in southeast Mississippi, but as of right now, no watch has been extended off towards the east. And they are monitoring this portion of the Florida Panhandle, southwest Georgia, and southeast Alabama for that potential threat for some stronger storms. A watch may be needed over the next few hours, but if you notice, it's a soaking rain across much of the area. That's going to really help stabilize the atmosphere. So that is what we're looking at right now across much of Middle Georgia. And again, checking Facebook and everything, so you got any questions, please chime in. And again, I'll try to do my best to answer any of those. But again, a wet, soaking night for many of us here in the mid-state, and it's just going to be that way as we continue through the next really several hours and do the overnight. So what we're looking at, we did a weather warn day today because we did have a low-end severe weather threat. And low-end means it may happen, it may not. We could see a few strong storms with gusty winds, hail, and again, an isolated tornado or two has been a possibility with this event. And we still may deal with this overnight, especially in our southern counties, but it's a low-end threat, so we're not too concerned, but you never want to let your guard down until you're in the all clear. I really think with this event, it's going to be heavy rainfall and a flooding concern really developing as we head through the overnight hours, and we're going to continue to see that. So as of right now, a quick rundown. All of Middle Georgia under the threat for severe weather, and this will get updated later tonight. They may trim back this level 2, and we'll all be in a level 1. Just one of those events. All the ingredients are in place, but they're not lining up properly. That's great news. We don't want any severe weather, but if we look at one of our forecast models the next couple of hours, here is that steady soaking rain. It's going to persist and persist. After midnight, we're still dealing with rain. And then through the early morning hours, we may get a few stronger storms developing across Middle Georgia. We'll be watching some of these early tomorrow morning as they could be packing a little bit more of a punch with those strong gusty winds, maybe some hail. And again, the tornado threat, it's not zero, but it is very, very low. So that is one model we're looking at. Storm threats, we've been saying it. It's a low-end threat for severe weather. Flooding is going to be the main concern, and that's really going to be between now and 9 a.m. I know it's an overnight event when no one wants to deal with that, but that's what we're going to be dealing with as we work through the overnight hours and into early tomorrow morning. Rainfall, rainfall, rainfall. We cannot harp on this enough. An additional 1.5 to 3 inches across portions of Middle Georgia. Could even see 2 to 5 inches down towards the south and west. And again, these are just averages. Some locations could get more, some locations maybe not this much. And we could actually see some of these heavier bands set up. We call that the training effect. You get these storms that start training over the same location. It's like a railroad track. The same carts keep going. That can really start to add up as far as the rainfall totals, and that's why we do have a flood watch in effect for all of middle Georgia. Again, this is for tonight through the day tomorrow and really till 1 a.m. Sunday. I think it'll be canceled by then, but they're just covering everything to make sure all the rain and storms will be out of here. But again, that's a flood watch, but I really think our main concern is going to be the rivers. They're already high. I was looking at the Ocmulgee today coming into work. It's already out of its banks. So you got a flood warning for the Ocmulgee from Macon-Bibb County down to Twiggs County and the northern Houston County. The Oconee River, you get south of Lake Sinclair, they're letting water out. So water's going to be rising. And then you got the Flint River that's in a flood warning as well. All that water is flowing south. They've had a lot of rain in North Georgia this week and really around the Atlanta metro. So that's the initial surge of water we're seeing. Then you add on what we're going to be dealing with as we head through the overnight hours, and that's what we're going to be continuing to watch these rivers. The rivers will be a longer, prolonged event as far as the flooding because it takes a while for all that water to flow back south, but you can see them really standing out. The Oconee River, the Ocmulgee River, and of course the Flint River off towards our west, already in flood, and they'll continue to rise as we head through really the overnight hours and then through the day tomorrow and the next couple of days, so do keep that in mind. Overnight events. I always say you always want to have multiple reliable ways to receive those severe weather alerts. Our Skywatch weather app, one of those great ways. Another way, the NOAA weather radio. But again, you just want to make sure you have a way to get those alerts if and when they are needed. Again, right now, most of middle Georgia under a flood watch. That would be showing up on the Skywatch weather alert app. But of course, it has that interactive radar. You can see your exact location when the rain and storms are going to get there. It also has those push alerts. We absolutely love that. You can pick what watches and warnings you want to receive. Tornado warning, flood warning, severe thunderstorm warning. It's only going to alert you if you fall within that polygon. So we always encourage people, download the free weather app. We push all the watches and warnings on it. And again, you can always get the latest forecast data within the app itself. So always encourage that. But again, tonight the forecast is a wet one. Thunderstorms, maybe some flooding rainfall. I got those temperatures into the low 60s, so that is what we're going to be watching during the overnight hours. Tomorrow, I think we start off with morning storms. I think by the afternoon, the rain and storms are going to be out of here, and we'll see some afternoon sunshine. But we continue to watch things. Again, it's a big time rain event for all of middle Georgia. We're seeing a steady soaking rain. And again, loving the fact that I'm not seeing any lightning within this shield of rain. So that means we're not dealing with thunderstorms, which means we're not having updrafts, which is what you always have to watch for when you're dealing with some of this strong thunderstorm activity. Again, taking a look back off towards the south and west, these are your stronger storms. South Alabama, working through the Wiregrass section of that state over towards Dothan. But notice, no watches, no warnings. We absolutely love this, and we're going to continue to watch this as we head through the overnight hours. Really never thought this would be a big-time severe weather event. That's what we want to see, but it is the season. Every storm system has to be monitored closely. So just checking things on social media, giving everyone a quick update. Hope everyone is enjoying this great night for sleeping across middle Georgia. If you know me, I love the old country music, and Eddie Rabbit's, I love a rainy night. That's what we're going to be dealing with, and hopefully we're not dealing with severe weather here in middle Georgia. So just giving you a quick update. We'll be watching things very carefully through the overnight hours. We'll, of course, have the latest at 11 o'clock on WGXA on ABC 16. But a wet, stormy night for most of middle Georgia. So just looking, Karen Riddle, Macon County. Right now, you're dealing with heavy rainfall. So that is what we're going to be, we'll zoom back in there real quick. Macon County giving you Montezuma. That gets you down south of Fort Valley. You got Marshallville, Ideal. Bright yellow, that's heavy rainfall, and it continues to work its way off towards the north and east. So that's what we're dealing with. That continues all the way back towards the south and east. And again, you get down towards Dothan, and then getting close to, say, Colquitt County in South Georgia, you're getting some of that lightning mixing in. These are those stronger thunderstorms. Loving it, not seeing those individual thunderstorms. Those are the ones we always talk about could be rotating. So just a wet go of it for many of us. Hopefully we're not dealing with severe weather. Like I said, we're looking back off towards the south and west. Sure, there are some stronger storms, but there are no active warnings across Alabama, South Alabama, or even northwest Florida, or even back into South Mississippi. Yes, we had a tornado watch earlier that has been allowed to expire that way. Watching things carefully the next couple of hours. We got a front that's trying to lift north. South of that front, that's where that warm, unstable air mass is. That's actually why you're seeing more thunderstorms down towards the coast. It's really having a hard time lifting off towards the north. If it doesn't lift towards the north, we're not going to have to worry about severe weather. So that is very encouraging, and that's what we're absolutely loving. So, Chris, I don't think you should be kayaking the Okmulgee tomorrow. It's in flood stage. All this rain overnight. They're going to be opening the gates up at Lake Jackson. A lot of water coming down the river. It's already out of its banks in right in Macon. I was looking at that earlier today. So, wind speeds again in Cordele, absolutely. Lauren, I'll give you a quick update. We'll look at those winds real quick. Let me pull up that graphic. So. I'm going to look at another model as well. We have multiple computer models or forecast models that we look at to kind of give us an idea of what we could be seeing over the next couple of hours. So this is what we call the HRRR model. It's the high resolution rapid refresh, and this updates every hour. So it kind of grabs onto the data it's already seeing. You see heavy rainfall through midnight. And again, this is one of the more bullish models. It shows the intensity of the rain and storms a little bit more intense than I think we're going to be dealing with. But again, if that warm front lifts north, we could certainly be dealing with some of those strong storms. Notice this is at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. Heavy thunderstorm activity. Could be dealing with lightning and thunder, some gusty winds. But notice it is in and out of here. And certainly that's what we want. We don't want this to be a prolonged event. Sure, it's happening overnight. But you notice by 8 o'clock, it's moving out of middle Georgia with a few lingering showers. And I know a lot of people are asking, when's the sunshine going to return? Now, we had a beautiful day Thursday. Most of the week it's been cloudy and gray. But tomorrow, we'll start to see a clearing sky. Sunday looking great. Also, don't forget time changes this weekend. We spring forward onto daylight saving time. A lot of people, that's their favorite time of year because the evenings will have more light. Sunset on Sunday evening will be after 7 o'clock in middle Georgia, and it's been since last fall we've been able to say that. So the time changes, you're going to lose an hour of sleep, but you'll have those longer evenings as far as the amount of sunlight. I'm going to pull up the winds for you real quick. This is the forecast model again. Severe winds typically over 58 miles per hour through the overnight hours. These are gusty winds, 20, 30 miles per hour. Of course, if you get some of those stronger thunderstorms, you could get those severe gusts over 50 to 60 miles per hour. But notice we're looking down in Cordele, winds of 27 miles per hour. This is going to be tomorrow afternoon. But through the rain and storm event, really not seeing any major winds playing into this. So tomorrow morning, 27 down in Cordele, 24 as far as the wind gust. Sustained winds will be anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per hour. Say midnight, still seeing those gusty winds. Notice they're out of the south and east. They'll become more southerly overnight. And again, gusty winds, absolutely, but not seeing any reason for a wind advisory. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now, Weather Service is mentioning that because of the saturated soils, it's not going to take a lot of wind to bring down some trees. So do remember that across the mid-state as we're going to be dealing with gusty winds, but nothing that will require a wind advisory or anything like that. And again, we'll be watching things overnight. That's what we have to do. This could be a long night for the team here at WGXA. But again, a steady soaking rain. Not seeing any thunderstorms, not seeing any lightning right now, and we're absolutely loving that. And as we look back towards the south and west, very encouraged. So we're not seeing those bright reds, any intense thunderstorms. You got this large mass of heavy rainfall, and that's going to keep that atmosphere stable for a little while. So that is very encouraging. I'm going to hop back on social media real quick. Well, so just looking back, checking things out. A lot of people asking questions. I will be wearing a life vest. Absolutely. Always do that when you're kayaking, Chris. That's always a good thing to do, especially right now. You can kayak the river tomorrow, but you'll be moving a lot faster than you want to because the water is moving fast as well, as long as the water's out of the bank. So, again, just checking on things from the National Weather Service. Nothing really jumping out at us. We continue to look at things. Storm Prediction Center, again, they're the ones that are in charge of issuing the severe weather alerts, or as far as the severe weather risk as well as watches. They're not overly concerned right now. No active watches and warnings here in Middle Georgia. Now, again, what we've been showing, we do have a risk for severe weather, and that continues to be through the overnight hours. Now, right now it's a level 1 threat. Early tomorrow morning, that could change to a level 2 threat, but I really think they'll remove this level 2 threat for Middle Georgia as we start the day tomorrow, because I really think the rain in the atmosphere is just not going to have enough chance to destabilize overnight. So that is encouraging. Not going to let my guard down because it only takes one storm to make this a bad event. So again, we've been talking about it's a low-end severe weather threat overnight. That means we could deal with an isolated strong to severe storm, producing gusty winds, hail, isolated tornado. And again, I really think the best chance for this activity will be across South Georgia, where it hasn't been raining the last several hours. Again, heavy rainfall and flooding will continue to be the main concern. I'll just show you forecast model output. This is a blend of the models on how much rain we could see overnight. 1.5 to 3 inches, 2 to 5 inches. Got a bullseye down towards Taylor County, Sly County, getting into Macon County. This is where we could really see some issues with flooding. The grounds are wet. We've had a lot of rain the last few weeks, so everything's running off. That's why we have those river flood warnings in effect. But again, an additional 1 to 3, maybe even 4 to 5 inches in some locations as we head through the overnight hours. That could lead to flash flooding and overall just flooding in general. Do have that flood watch in effect once again. This includes Macon-Bibb County, Houston County, all the way down towards Lawrence County, Wilcox County. You get over towards Vienna, Dodge, Dooley County. You're included in this. Bleckley County, all the way up to Butts County, Jasper, Putnam County. And again, you got the flood watch, and again the river flood warnings. The Flint River, it's already got a flood warning. The Ocmulgee River, right around Macon, does have a flood warning, and then you got the Oconee River. So Lake Sinclair, you're up towards Lake Oconee, and then of course the Ocmulgee River is fed by Lake Jackson, and they're going to be releasing water. Again, a lot of rainfall up in the Atlanta metro earlier this week. They're dealing with that, and the grounds are just saturated everywhere, so everything's going to be pure runoff as we head through the next couple of hours. Again, just showing you one forecast model. The next few hours, it's going to be a wet and stormy one, and by tomorrow morning, I really think a lot of that rainfall will be in and out of Georgia. So another model we're going to look at, this is the graph model, just showing you a steady soaking rain overnight. Could get a few stronger thunderstorms, but this air mass in place, unless that warm front lifts north, I just don't see those thunderstorms redeveloping overnight. But tomorrow morning, we could certainly be dealing with a few strong storms across Middle Georgia, but this rain will really help keep the atmosphere stable unless that warm front lifts north. And then notice by 10 or 11 o'clock, the rain is out of here. So again, quick update, it's a steady soaking rain, no active severe weather, no watches, no warnings as far as the severe weather threat. We do have that flood watch in effect. Again, it's 10 o'clock, I'll be jumping off here. We'll have all the latest on WGXA tonight at 11. Greg Lloyd is anchoring. He's got a great On the Farm package that's going to air tonight. He's going to be talking to us about the Logger of the Year in Georgia. He's right here from Middle Georgia, so we'll be covering that and, of course, all the news from across Middle Georgia today. But again, we'll be live at 11 o'clock, and we'll be watching this overnight. Feel free to interact with us on social media. I'll go back and check comments, questions, concerns, and we'll be keeping you safe during the overnight hours. Again,